evening, one and all. I am Finn Bell, poet and your host of the Poets Lighthouse. We are in December. Can you believe it? It's been over half a year since the premiere of this show, my show, and we have been so fortunate to have 30 amazing poets come through for unforgettable conversations. Today is no different. Today we have our guest, Levi J. Mericle. Hello, Levi.
Hello, Finn. How are you today?
I'm doing great. So, viewers, Levi is a queer and disabled poet slash spoken word artist and award-winning songwriter from Tucumcari, New Mexico. His debut collection, The Autobiography of a Broken Kid, Poetry and Short Prose, was published in 2020. Levi's poems have appeared in over 30 literary magazines and journals from over half a dozen countries, including publications such as Apricity Magazine, Journal of Artistic Creation and Literary Research, Black Heart Magazine, Elephant Journal, Taj Mahal Review, and Awakenings Review, among many others. His short prose can be read through Flash Fiction Magazine, Mystery Tribune, Zero Flash, eFiction India, and Spill Words Press. In summer of 2021, he won the Best Traditional Country Song in the World Songwriting Awards for his song Whiskey Deep. Levi enjoys spending his days writing, submitting to journals, and collecting antiques, as you could see behind him. He is an advocate for the LGBTQIA plus and equal rights communities, as well as an advocate for the mentally ill and the anti-bullying movement. Levi, once again, welcome into our beautiful virtual studio. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
I sure am, Finn. Thank you for having me.
I'm happy to hear that, and you're very welcome. It's an honor. So I'm going to get right into my first question. You have in both of your poems, you are going to be sharing two poems with us today. And both those poems, one titled "A Letter to the Dead Grandmothers That Raised Us," and "A Miracle, Miracle." There's a reference made to the Bible. Its presence appears deeply embedded. The idea that God and belief is central to life is also embedded in there. Do you feel that you have consciously altered that relationship?
Altered it? No. I grew up in the church. My parents were pastors for since I was like I don't know, maybe like 17 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I just always have had a firm belief in God and faith and stuff like that. And
Okay.
and with that particular poem, it was "A Miracle, Miracle" is dedicated to my little nephew who passed away when he was 10 months old.
I see.
And that is dedicated to him because he shouldn't have died so young. He had a lot of lung problems and stuff like that. And so I know where he's at. He's in heaven along with other, people of faith. And
Yes.
I just always accompany God with death and stuff like that.
And for you, is that a comforting thing ultimately? Do you believe?
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's like I know there's another place we go when we die, or I have that faith in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like growing up in the church, I saw a lot of hypocrisy. I saw a lot of just, and I don't personally, I mean, my parents were pastors and all that,
Mm-hmm.
yes. But I don't like the church as an entity. I believe your faith with God is you. It's in your temple, it's in your body, it's in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, it's like, why do we need a place, to worship Him? It's not, and I'm not. I mean, I'm a Christian, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a very liberal Christian. So I don't believe. I believe everybody has their walk with whoever believes in faith or spiritual entity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think that if you believe in, let's say, Buddha or Allah,
Mm-hmm.
that you know, you're gonna go to hell. I don't believe that. I personally don't believe that. I think that they have their own walk, and if they're not like a murderer, a serial killer, and even I'm not saying murderers can't be Christians or anything, because they can be Christians
Yeah.
once they repent and do their time or whatever. It's like I believe that if you believe in a higher power and if you're a good person, you're going to go to heaven or like thereof.
Yeah. That makes sense. No unnecessary conduit. You are having this direct relationship, and that's
Yeah.
beautifully put. That's so beautifully put. Um. So Levi, again, like I mentioned, you have chosen those two poems that we just discussed.
Hmm.
And would you now indulge us, please, by sharing those poems for us?
Yes.
Thank you.
This first one is a letter to the dead grandmothers that raised us, for friends and for myself. The tip of my pen leaks forgiveness, jotted spaces between line pages. I seek your redemption. My encapsulated words remind me I swallow memories like the Xanax you popped and the whiskey you chugged to forget me. I stumble through my thought maze like gods on the run, my tongue coated with smoke grenade juice, hiding every feeling behind every word. I'm lost without your hatred, though your hatred is why I'm lost. Songs of my incandescent love, overshadowed by nightmares you've placed in my wake. My mind is my amulet of security, better than any plastic Jesus you kept wrapped around your neck or layered in your throat. Poverty of the soul was what you specialized in. You kept your God on standby, your hands, slapping the demons from my flesh, beating the gay from my body with your Bible shaped fist to remind me of the purity and the normalcy. Coffin lids remind me of your faith. A closed off songbird that eats the flesh of other young birds. I don't pray to the same God you pray to. I don't worship the same God you shoved down my throat as a child. I wish you were back. Although I do not miss the history between us, you fought me at every step of the walk in my shoes, but I trod on comfort land now. I do not wade in your gayless submerged waters. I sing the songs of joyous birds. I pray to a God that's accepting. The tip of my pen may leak forgiveness in this letter, but my heart will forever spew the hunger of needing your approval. You're gone now, and I can forever be cherished for who I am. This is the path of my destiny. Diamonds in the eyes of the future. Um,
So powerful and personally just like moving, and I could tell that the personal effect that it has on you, the meaning to it. Oh my goodness, when you said Bible shaped fists, so many moving lines in there, so many moving lines. Thank you for that. um your other poem, um your second poem has a very similar and very highly personal theme to it as well. If you would share
Yes,
with that with us, please.
absolutely. It's entitled "A Miracle, Miracle" for my nephew Matthew Jellybean Mericle. You were born biblically beautiful. Biblically beautiful in the sense you were a miracle. A miracle in the sense that you shouldn't have been born. Torn from your mother like an autopsy in reverse. Torn from her belly like a sick alien reincarnated movie premiere joke. Covered in your mother's birthing jelly, I imagined you looked like a baby about to die. A baby just visiting only for a few moments just to later say goodbye. I could see you in your mother's eyes, in your father's hands, the way they shook while holding you, as if holding his baby boy was something to fear. But he feared you. We all did. Fear gripped our throats until we were unable to say your name. But now, your name is all I think about. Your little hands that were too weak to grasp, your little legs too weak to kick. I remember your eyes, glassed over with a silent plea for help, but no help could amount to the help you needed. Your eyes are now a Bible that never gets opened, that never gets read, although I now have faith that you are happy. Biblically and beautifully dead you are, a heavenly mark left on this world. You were a miracle in the eyes of so many, a star shining bright in our eyes to this day. Shine on, little man. Shine on. You will never be forgotten.
Beautiful, thank you for that. um a lot of the lines read almost like, like premonition, a father that was too afraid to hold you, and just the repetition, just the fact of after the your nephew's demise, unfortunate, untimely demise, the
Mhm.
repetition of the name is almost like sending up a prayer, a prayer to him, or a prayer to who he's being entrusted, a higher power who he's being entrusted into.
Yes,
um that is
absolutely.
just, yeah, that is gripping, and just um wanted to take time to digest that. um Thank you.
Oh,
That was
yes.
truly beautiful, truly beautiful.
Thank you.
You're
He would have
welcome.
been 18 now.
Goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
And that, I think that to a certain degree gives you more time to reflect that a purpose, there was a purpose to that brevity. There was a
Mm-hmm.
reason that we should reflect on. And I think that was also very deftly expressed in in your um in your poem, the sense of needing that urgency to, to remember these things, to commit these things to memory, and to understand that life can have its brevity, to live it, when it's possible to be with those loved ones, while you still have the time to do so.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, he was amazing. Little guy with his he always had a tube in his nose, because he couldn't breathe well, and then uh he passed. And then, yeah, my brother and my sister-in-law, they were we all were heartbroken, but it just hit my brother so hard. And that's dedicated, of course, to Matthew and my brother. So
it is a wonderful, apt tribute, and we appreciate that you shared such an intimate thing with us. That's so brave. Poetry like that is necessary. It's very brave and courageous to reveal grief, and I believe that revealing that and showing people that this happens and you heal from it helps other people heal too, going through that same.
Yes.
Yes. So
And
viewers,
healing is.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, healing is the process we have to come to when someone passes.
Mhm.
And I think if you're able to do poetry, and that's just, even if you write something in a journal and don't even read it aloud, it's that the process of putting ink to paper and getting out your feelings, it really helps, I think, with grief and loss.
I know that in my own journey with grief, having put pen to paper served both the purpose of removing a lot of that grief and that sorrow from me, and able to examine it away from myself, and see my progress actually in going from not being able to understand what happened, being angry about it, to finding a little bit more peace, to finding and seeing the the reasons why these things happen, or to see how I can draw wisdom and courage from from what happened, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
It does absolutely.
Yeah.
And that has been, writing has always, since I was about, since about Matthew died, maybe like a little after, because I
Mm-hmm.
had time to gather my thoughts and
Mm-hmm.
grieve and all that. It was like, that was really what helped me cope, was writing stuff down, writing poems, writing my feelings, and just expressing
Yeah,
that through the page. It was just what really got me through.
it is. Writing is a powerful tool. I can't say that
Yes.
enough. So, wonderful viewers of the Lighthouse, we have to go on a brief break, but please join us when we return. Hello, viewers. We return now from our break with our guest, spoken word poet and multiple award-winning songwriter, Levi Mericle. Hello again.
Hello again, Phil.
So, Levi, question. You are both a poet and a songwriter. Are poetry and songwriting, do you believe that they're natural partners? And if you do you believe that they flow easily into one another?
Oh yes, I believe that in every song, it stemmed somehow from poetry. I believe that wholeheartedly, and I mean, it's just, I don't write I don't write music, and I don't sing. My voice is
Hmm.
terrible, but but I just love the idea of my poetry becoming a song, and it it's just amazing to me. And one of my songs, Whiskey Deep, as is actually a song now because it won a demo, and it's doing really well in the avenues I placed it in. It's done really well, and yeah, I believe poetry is in all music. Yes,
Poetry is in all music. Oh, I love that statement. That right there, that is very encouraging, and it's
mm-hmm.
actually a great lead in to my next question, my related question, which is, do you have any sound advice for poets who want to venture into songwriting?
Oh my goodness, a great question. Since I don't play music, and if I'm just coming from a straight up lyricist point of view, I would say just put yourself out there. Just write, and stem from other songs, like inspiration or whatever you need, and just write original, great words, and then find if you can't enter it in like lyrics only categories in song contests, just find someone that is good with music. Just someone that can sing and plays guitar or plays the piano, and just collab and just make, beautiful music, and just put your heart out there. I'm all about that. It's like I'm not a closed book at all. I'm open. I'm an open book. It's like you get what you get. I am who I am, and yeah, and I just think music just should be everywhere, and it is everywhere. But I think if you have the talent to write or play music, just go for it. Just submit out there. Put your stuff out there.
As it should be. Yes. Yeah. What are your best inspirations for lyrics or ideas?
Oh man, I listen. You mean like music wise? Like I listen to lots of music. I do like I stem from hip hop. I've written some hip hop lyrics. I've written some country songs, as Whiskey Deep is like a country lyric, with a little bit of like soft rock stuff put in there, and it's just, I don't know. I love writing songs, that people can relate to, and people can just sit back and enjoy,
And that right there is commendable. Just, it doesn't have to be anything that is incredibly lofty. The whole point and the beauty sometimes of something is lies within the simplicity of it, the relatability of it. So that's a great answer. Love that answer.
Well, just like Whiskey Deep, it's kind of a traditional country song, and it's about, you're getting heartbroken, and you go to the bottle, and I've never been a drinker, but I can understand. I've been heartbroken, as many of us have been, and it's like, if I were a drinker, you better believe I'd hit that whiskey a couple times, and it'd be like several times, it'd be like, that is what maybe I would go to if that was my niche or my demon, as they say. That's, I can understand that. I totally can.
Yeah. So aside from being a poet and doing songwriting, you are a champion of your, advocacies. What programs have you been doing lately, or are there any programs that you're doing lately that intersect your poetry life with your advocacy?
Well, since I am a disabled poet, and if I were as healthy as could be, like I want to be, I would be out there on the streets every gay pride parade. I'd be out there every like rally, every protest. I would be out there, with my fellow people, you know. But since the parameters of my health, it's hard to do that. So I was asked to be as for the bowling aspect, I was asked to be in this anthology called Fearless Poets Against Bowling, and I forget where she's based out of, but I was asked to be in this book, and I wrote a poem for it, and it kind of started kind of a movement in my small town. Because I had a booth at the fair for a couple years, you know, like promoting the book and promoting my work and my views against bowling. But besides that, I haven't really been out there much protesting or doing much of that, especially since I live in Tucumcari. You know, there's not a lot to do here, but yeah.
Not a lot to do, but hey, more time for poetry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I write an awful lot because of my illness. I just, you know, I submit all the time to journals and magazines, and when I feel good enough, I write till my ass falls off, basically. I just write my butt off, and it's just what I do, you know, and I think as poets, I think many can relate to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, that's definitely a key part of practice. No matter what you're writing, just write. Just write. Period.
Just
write.
right,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter if it's good, bad. It's going to be seen, not seen. Just write.
Just put it down. Yes.
Right there. So, Levi, we're going to get into something a little deep with my next question.
Okay.
So, in the poems that you were so kind to share with me, and you shared quite a few of them, I was really moved by all of them, and I could relate on certain levels to the, you know, the a lot of it having to do with family and experience and learning, you know, things through hard knocks. One of them, though, truly just floored me. I reread it. I had to take breaths in between. The lines just were on fire. And it was the poem, Do You See Me? Because almost immediately in the second stanza, you state, I am Hitler. I am the Ku Klux Klan. I am neo-Nazi. I am fascism in its richest form. And then at the very end of the poem, just that simple admission, that statement, I am ashamed. Do you feel that when these words were written, when these words are expressed in public, when you do share them, when you share them at open mics, or when you just even say it out into the ether, does it begin to lend to healing? And, you know, along that same vein, are these poems, is a poem like this part of the responsibility to make amends daily and to be vigilant, to continue to make these amends and understand the injustice that was done?
Yes, absolutely. And just as a little side note, I have two African American sisters, and that poem I wrote dedicated to them because, you know, I am white. I'm lily white. And my sisters are black. And it's like when I walk into a convenience store or in one instance an antique store with my sisters, it's like I walk in first and they're okay, you know, they don't follow me around. I'm white. So, but they're black and they are thieves automatically in these racist white minds. And it's like, what the hell? It's like, just because they're black, they have to be, scrutinized like this. And I find, and that poem, "Do You See Me?" I wrote for them, and it's just like I can't say it enough for the black community that I'm sorry. And march in place of some racist, or did I march with racists, or was I Hitler? No, I wasn't any of that. But it's the whole idea of healing, exactly what you said, healing. It's like I can't relate enough that how sorry I am that we have been like this for centuries, for generations and generations, and it's appalling to me. And for my sisters, and it breaks my heart that they have to go in fear to a convenience store. They have to go in fear of like being scrutinized as a thief, or it's just not right. And that poem was just a piece of me trying to say, I'm sorry.
And that is definitely a, a start. It is a ripple that that starts something that could potentially move other people.
Yeah.
Somebody recently had a conversation with me, and they said they were talking about it. Um, is it truly anybody's responsibility? And then I believe somebody made the response, well, people of color have that responsibility every day. They bear that weight
Yeah.
every day. They bear that burden every day. Um, that's something to dwell on, not just dwell on, take to heart.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, it just breaks my heart all the time, when my sisters they come to me and they're like saddened and disheartened about what's happening in our world, and
Mhm.
it's a scary place, but hopefully we're heading in the right direction, I'm hoping. It's sometimes hard to believe sometimes when you look at the news and you see all this happening, but I just hope we're heading in the right direction.
I do hope so. I really do. Really, really do hope so.
Mhm.
That's a genuine, not just a sentiment. It's me being a woman of color myself, an Asian American woman, and having having experienced that. Um, it's not just a mere sentiment. It's an actuality, and I hope
Yes.
people realize that, and get over the divide or the apprehension that there's nothing that doesn't need to be fixed. There's a lot that needs to be fixed.
Yes.
Levi, thank you so much for taking this time to be in the lighthouse with us. I want to end with one final question, and get past the heaviness, take a little breath, and do something a little, and end on a lighter note. Um, so I want to ask if this past year could be summed up to you in a line of a poem or a song verse, what would that song be?
Hmm. Wow, that's a great question. I would have to say, since the pandemic and everything, I talked with you a little bit. It has opened doors for me in the virtual world that hadn't happened before. So I would just say that the web I don't know. The web has become like a safe haven, and usually that's not the case, but for us poets, it's like it's a safe haven, um, to just be yourself and to shine light where the light needs shined on the most. And it's just amazing to me how such a horrible thing like the pandemic has opened up this virtual space that we can all, um, you know, love each other and enjoy each other, and just be poets, just be poets and express what we have in our hearts and in our minds and love each other.
I think those make really great song verses. They almost are Beatlesque in just love each other and
Yes,
write poetry. Simple as that.
yes, very simple.
So, faithful viewers, this has been our sit down with Levi Mericle here at your favorite show, the Poets Lighthouse. Please do check out Levi's book, The Autobiography of a Broken Kid, Poetry and Short Prose. Please also follow Levi on Facebook. He has a Facebook author page. It is The Poetry of Levi Mericle. As always, we appreciate your support for all our PGN programming that you provide when you subscribe to our YouTube channel and like and comment on our videos. Good night from inside the lighthouse.